Romans 4:17, as it is written, I have made you a father of many nations, before him who he believed, even God, who gives life to the dead and calls those things which are not as though they were. You know, I love the story of Abraham. I love the whole life of Abraham. You know, there were times where, he had great faith, and then there were times where he tried to work it all out on his own because he didn't really have that great faith. And I can relate to that because I've done that in my life. There's been times that I've really been faithful to what God has said, and then there's been other times where, um, I've tried to alter the plan to make it work faster or better or whatever. My point is, I love going and reading about Abraham. And I love in particular when God had declared that he was the father of many nations before he was the father of anything, and Abraham believed him and had faith in that. And that's what I want to talk about today. And I'm going to use an example in my life because I know it's something that I've firsthand experienced, firsthand witnessed to, is what's happened in my life. So that's what I want to share to try to encourage someone else today. And I'm going to use the area of my life of health and fitness because this is something that I've just recently been going through in this past several months. Several months. So anyway, when I knew and I know that it is God's will for me to be healthy, and it is God's will for me to be fit. He's called me out to do many things, and I cannot accomplish those things if I'm not physically able. And so I decided and made the choice to do what I needed to do in my life to attain that goal. And that's the first thing I started doing was setting goals. And I would set a goal, I would speak to that goal, I would call that goal out until I accomplished it, until it manifested in my life. And this one in particular goal is the one that I want to share with you today. And it is not easy for me to talk about my weight. It's not easy for me to talk about health issues. So, um, anyway, I'm sharing solely for the purpose of being able to encourage someone else because I don't think I'm the only person to ever go through something like this. And here's the thing, I had made a goal that I wanted to be 140 pounds. That was my goal. I called it out, I staked claim to it, I spoke to it, I spoke it out loud all the time that I declare that I am 140 pounds way before I was 140 pounds. And I was doing things to attain that. I started moving physically, exercising. I changed the way that I ate. I started eating healthier to attain that goal. So everything was going right along according to plan. And then I got a little distracted by the gelato. And it got very out of hand. I was still speaking and claiming 140 pounds, but I was shoveling in the gelato every day. And the weight started going up. My workouts actually started getting harder. My body was physically, I could feel the struggle physically in my body because I was going against. I was doing one thing and saying another. I was 100% going against what I was speaking and saying in my life in that area of fitness and weight loss. So God literally woke me up in the middle of the night with this whole message of, I can have faith all day long and I can speak something all day long and I could say I'm 140 pounds till the cows come home. But as long as I'm shoveling in unhealthy food and fattening food, there's that struggle's going to be there, and I'm not going to attain that goal. It doesn't matter how many times I say I'm 140 pounds. If I'm doing the opposite of what it takes to attain that, it's natural physical law that I'm not going to attain it. And so when God woke me up with that, I was just like, oh, okay, I had to get back on track. I think a lot of times we do that though. We feel the Lord telling us something, or we decide something, and we just start claiming it and speaking it out there, and then we just kind of sit back and wait for God to do it. Well, that's not how it works. I couldn't just say, I want to be 140 pounds and just sit back like a fat cat eating whatever I wanted to and just expect God to poof me down to 140 pounds. That's not the way it works. Our faith requires action. Our faith requires responsibility. We have a responsibility. God has given us knowledge, um, the knowledge to know and make those choices, those right choices. And that's what I want to encourage you with today. If you're in that position where you've got a goal and you're claiming one thing but you're doing another, stop it because it's not going to work. Trust me, it didn't work. The weight started going back up, the workouts got harder, and then I just kind of had to start again. And it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. Life's too short. We have way too much to accomplish on this earth to have our physical bodies even struggling, within itself. And so I hope you're encouraged with that today. Um, I proudly say I've been delivered from the gelato. Um, I have chosen to make it an occasional treat instead of a daily meal from this point on, and I'm back on track, getting back on track. And so, anyway, I just hope you're encouraged with that today. Everyone have a very, very blessed day.